Hello, my friends. Welcome to Creeping Out My Friends, your one-stop shop for urban legends, ghost stories, and anything you can want to creep out your friends. Without any further ado, let's get creepy. I'm your host, Z/Z, and I'm here with my friend,
Hi, I'm Garrett.
Garrett. Introduce yourself,
Yay.
Garrett.
Uh, I sometimes go by the handle Engineer Who. You can find me on Andre Luke Martinez backlot Discord server a lot of the time. But I'm also on YouTube at the Triple Threat Music Podcast, where my friends and I review mostly music by the Beatles, The Who, Pink Floyd, a lot of Pink Floyd lately. And I'm here to have a good time and hear about creepy dolls.
Yup. So, this is our third attempt recording this. So, Garrett knows a little bit of
Yeah.
what is going on. He knows a lot of the history actually already. So, we're just going to jump right in and talk some more.
So the
So,
subject of this
yes.
podcast,
Do you want to try and pronounce it this time?
I can't even remember the words.
All right. So,
I just know
well,
that the literal translation is one man hide and seek.
exactly. So, today we are talking about one man hide and seek, or as it's known in Japanese, Hitori Kakurenbo.
Hitori Kakurenbo.
Hitori Kakurenbo literally translates to one man hide and seek or hide and seek alone. So Hitori Kakurenbo, or one man hide and seek, is a Japanese ritual / urban legend that kind of involves you summoning a demon or a spirit to possess a doll and playing hide and seek with it. So, exactly.
It's like the fourth or fifth time I'm hearing this, and it still
It's
weirds me out.
You're still freaked out. I'm glad. It means I picked a good subject.
Truly.
So, this is believed to have originated in Japan. It could have been an urban legend. So, as I said, you play hide and seek kind of with a doll or stuffed animal, and you bind this doll to yourself with some sort of bodily fluid, a piece of your body, hair, what have you. If this ritual does work, it is said that the doll will start to move on its own. It may move from room to room. You also give the doll a knife. And so if you lose,
Of course.
of course, if you lose, what happens? You get stabbed, you die,
Yes. Just,
all your
again,
wonderful
like
nightmares.
I don't believe a word of that, but at the same time, it's like, why tempt fate? Why even try this?
For the views.
For the views. For the
Uh,
live streams that some weird Japanese teenager is like, let's maybe get killed on camera. Sure, why not?
exactly. So, yes, we're not exactly sure what the origins of this are when it first came about, but from what I could find online, it possibly started on 2chan in a post back from April 2006. But since then, it kind of has become its own thing. There are Japanese teens who live stream it. There's, I think, Americans who live stream it occasionally. But if you go on YouTube, there's certainly a lot of people who are playing one man hide and seek.
Fine.
And my little tidbit that I have not included in my other recordings, but I might as well throw in here, is it actually has its own page on Know Your Meme.
No.
Yep.
Oh, I gotta check this out.
So I think that's fun. So moving on, we're going to talk a bit about the history of dolls in Japan. So dolls in Japanese are also known as ningyo, which translates into person shape or person form. The beginnings aren't quite sure, but they possibly started coming around in the Jomon period, which was about 8,000 to 200 BC, and it started with dogu, or humanoid figures. And these are like little, I'm not sure if they're made out of clay or something, but they're kind of sculpted, carved.
Yeah, I looked them up. Some of them look, yeah, there's definitely some clay ones. Some of them look stone.
Yeah, but
That's
they're definitely humanoid. Like you can see a human shape in them, but they're not
humanoid as in it
human.
has a head, two arms, and two legs, yes, but
Yes.
that's about where the similarity stops.
Yeah. So they're interesting. Dolls have always and shall always be creepy, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I say as I have about 4 dolls on my desk.
Yeah. And you went above and beyond. You chose to collect the creepiest. Z told me today that she collects ball jointed dolls,
Yes.
and if you look those up
Asian ball
and
jointed dolls.
on image searches,
They
they're
look like little people. They look like a mix between little people and anime brought to life.
yeah, right. It's very uncanny valley.
Yes, they're fun. But not only that, I have my ball jointed dolls on here, but I also have my Monster High dolls on my desk with me because I collect those as well.
Of course.
And then behind me, I have, you would really appreciate it, I have my in the box original Barbie and Ken Star Trek themed dolls.
Oh my God.
So Ken is dressed as Captain Kirk,
Of
and it looks
course.
like Barbie is she looks kind of like Janice Rand because she has the red dress on and everything. So very fun. I also have another weird, I have a creepy alien doll back there too. They're fun. I have a Spock doll too. I have many dolls.
You're just like I like you a lot, Zed, but I don't think I could ever visit you with all this.
They're fun. All right.
Anyway, going back to
moving
the
on
Japanese
back to Japanese dolls. So there's many different types of dolls in the Japanese culture. In the Heian period is where we started hearing talk of these dolls, and it was mostly through the book The Tales of Genji by Lady Murasaki. And so that's probably around late 700s to early 1100s AD. Haha, okay. I remembered it this time.
Yeah. All right.
And so these dolls have many different purposes. Some of the ones that I wrote about that I thought were interesting were our talismanic dolls and our offering dolls. So talismanic dolls were used as a twin to confuse or distract evil spirits.
Right.
So one type would have been given to small children to kind of keep evil spirits away from them or distract them. And when they reached a certain age, for boys it was 15, and for girls it was when they got married, they would give up these dolls and they would be consecrated as at a shrine. Our modern day ones are like little nanny cams, which I just think is really funny. I think it's kind of cute.
Yeah. Like it still has that sort of, I guess,
it's protecting you,
sacred, or there's a deeper meaning to it, but also there's something very practical about it.
Yeah, about the nanny cam aspect. So I like it. I think they're fun.
It seems the logical evolution.
Yeah. So, and then another type in there would be our hoko, which were these soft body dolls that were given to pregnant women. They were made out of silk and human hair and stuffed with cotton.
Sure.
Which those I can understand kind of being made out of human hair because they were supposed to help protect you and all that stuff. But there's also, and I didn't talk about these last whatever recordings we did, but there's also the Hina dolls, which look kind of like a person. They look like your typical doll, but those are also made with human hair usually, and those have a whole festival around them. They have the Hina Matsuri.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And those, from what I can tell, aren't exactly I don't think they have these protective features to them. So
are they more like playthings, like toys?
Yeah, I think they're like collectibles. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd have to double check that, but yeah. So those are kind of interesting, I guess. I don't know.
Sure.
Still weird.
There's something just a little bit creepy about any doll, whether it has purpose or if it's a toy that has human hair.
Yep. Fun times, man. So those are talismanic dolls, and then there's also offering dolls, which were supposed to represent the person doing the offering, and they were supposed to take on the sins or the evil spirits of that person.
Yeah.
And
sort of the Japanese equivalent of a scapegoat.
Yes. A physical scapegoat.
Sure.
I just did some bad things. I had some bad thoughts. Now let me go burn this doll.
Yeah.
Basically.
I'm going to put all of my badness into this one thing and then destroy it.
I don't know if that's healthy or repressed.
That's
hard to decide.
Yeah,
Um, yeah.
that's up for
But
debate.
whatever helps you sleep at night, I guess.
Sure. Yeah,
If
let's go with that.
taking your offering doll and burning it or throwing it in some running water helps you, then go for it, man. So yes, so there were those offering dolls, but there were also and these were where got caught off that first time. But there's also offering dolls that are used as kind of memorials for dead or unborn children. And one of the
Oh,
things that I thought was interesting with that is that sometimes they also bring a offering doll to a dead or unborn child that's supposed to represent a bride or a groom for that child, and it's supposed to like placate their soul, so that
huh.
it feels like it's with its companion.
That's sweet,
Yeah,
actually.
that one's actually kind of sweet. I really liked that
Yeah.
one. So yes, so that's kind of what I have on my history of dolls.
Cool.
And as I'm sure you guess, the reason I talked all about this history of dolls is because this is a very doll heavy ritual.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm going to jump into the kind of steps of the ritual. And I think
Okay.
what I'm probably going to do is I'll probably read all this right off. I'm looking, there's different steps kind of depending on what website you look at, but a lot of them tend to be very similar. So
Hmm.
I'm actually getting mine. You're gonna laugh at me, but I'm getting my steps off of this website that's called Scary for Kids,
Oh God. Okay.
and it's actually
For a
really
second, for a
yeah.
second, I thought you were gonna say WikiHow.
No, but I think there might actually be a wiki how for like
I
what.
would. I guarantee
um,
it.
but this one is really funny because it has a lot of these weird rituals and kind of creepy pasta-esque things for you to do
Yeah.
and like urban legends,
Okay.
all gathered in one place. But the best thing is like kids actually go on it. So you read like the comment sections before and be like, I'm 13, I ain't afraid of nothing, and I'm gonna
Oh
mess up that
no.
doll. And it's like the funniest thing. I love reading the comments. Um,
Jeez.
but that is besides the point. So from Scary for Kids website, we're gonna move on to them. So they say hide and seek alone is a scary Japanese game in which you play a dangerous game of cat and mouse with a possessed doll. This game is also known as Hitori Kakurenbo, one man hide and seek, or one man tag. It is very dangerous, and we recommend that you do not play this game.
So here's how
Which,
you do
yeah, which they
it.
say that literally on all of their games. They're like, we recommend all the Japanese games. We recommend you don't play this. But here are all the steps to it.
Oh, jeez.
All
That's
right.
really responsible webmastering right there, let me
There you
tell
go,
you.
Scary for Kids. Keep up the good work. All right. So to play hide and seek alone, you need a stuffed doll. It must have arms and legs, a bag of uncooked rice, enough to fill the doll, a needle and crimson thread, a sharp knife, a cup of salt. Natural salt would be best. And you also need to choose a small room or closet, which will be your hiding place. So I'm going to pause actually for a second there and kind of talk. I got this from another site, but what these different things represent. So
Okay.
one of the websites I found said that the rice represents the innards and also has the role of attracting spirits.
So that you actually stuff the doll with the rice?
Yeah, so you're going to stuff the doll with the
You
rice.
take out the cotton stuffing if it had
Yeah,
any?
that's going to be
Huh?
puppies.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's one of the steps that we're going to get to is you kind of take all the stuffing out and then you replace it with rice. So the rice represents innards and has the role of attracting spirits. The crimson thread represents a blood vessel and it seals the spirit up inside the doll.
Hmm.
And then I'll hold off on reading these other notes that I have here because they get kind of into the once we're talking about the steps and how we play it.
Yeah.
So step 1, you're going to cut open the doll and remove the stuffing. Fill the doll with uncooked rice. And then it says here too, in many Asian cultures, uncooked rice is believed to attract spirits.
Mm.
Step 2, the fun one, clip your fingernails and put them inside the doll. This binds the doll to you. And other ones
Okay.
that I've read, they've said things like you could also like put hair inside the doll. You could like cut your finger and put some blood in there.
Mm.
I saw one video on YouTube where a Japanese man brought a condom and emptied it into the doll.
Oh, oh
Yes,
God. Oh.
that was. Mm. But I had to mention that one because I knew you had to get this good reaction from you.
Yeah, I understand, but
Yeah. So it's there. It's kind of. I mean, it was gross enough already, but that kind of made it. Yeah.
yeah.
So yes. So this is supposed to bind the doll to you.
Okay.
Step 3: sew up the doll with the crimson thread, and then tie up the doll with the rest of the thread. The thread represents blood and binds the spirit of the doll.
So tied up so that if it could move, it wouldn't be able to?
Yeah, basically. I mean, like it's thread, so yeah, you're gonna tie it like all around the doll. Basically, wrap the doll up in this thread and tie it up.
Yeah. Okay.
Step 4: you fill the bathtub with water. Yeah, if it didn't specify, you're in a bathroom for this. Step 4: you fill the bathtub up with water. Step 5: you place a cup of salt water inside of your hiding place. So as I said before, you want to find like a little closet or a little room that's going to be your hiding place. So you're going to place your cup of water in your hiding place.
Yeah.
Then step 6: you choose a name for your doll. Naming the spirit makes it more powerful.
Yes, this is true across multiple cultures as well.
Yes. Which is like why this thing is kind of believable when you like read the steps and everything. Step 7: at 3 a.m., you go to the bathroom, pick up the doll, and say 3 times, your name is the first it. So you're saying, so like if I was playing, it'd be like Z is the first it, Z is the first it. And you're supposed to say that 3 times. And I have the Japanese too of all the things that you're supposed to say. So it would be like, so in Japanese, it would be Saiho wa Z desu. So the first person is me.
Okay.
Then step 8, you're going to place the doll in the bathtub, take the knife with you, and go around the house turning off all the lights. Switch on the TV and leave it on a static white noise channel. Which I think, yeah, they're going to, yeah, they mention it later. Step 9, you go back to your hiding place, close your eyes, and count to 10. Step 10, return to the bathroom with the knife in your hand. Step 11, you say, I found you, the doll's name, and stab the doll with the knife.
So it sounds like you're teaching the doll how to be it.
Yeah, basically. So you're playing hide and seek. So like you're playing as it first. You go hide, then you find the doll, stab it, which isn't how hide and seek goes, but you know.
No, it's how this variation plays out.
Give them some creative liberty. Stab the doll and you say, I found you. Then step 12, you say 3 times, now your doll's name is it. And you put the doll and the knife back into the bathtub. Step 13, immediately run back to your hiding place and wait. So now it kind of gets into what's going to happen while you're playing and like some rules to be aware of. Okay. So it says, at this point, you may hear the pitter-patter of tiny feet. If the doll is close to you, you will hear the white noise on the TV change. Apart from the sound of footsteps and things being moved around, some people have reported horrible smells, drastic changes in temperature, and the TV suddenly switching off or the volume changing dramatically. Some have reported the sensation of being touched or pulled on. If at any time you feel the doll is about to find you, end the game. To end the game, you take a mouthful of salt water. Keeping it in your mouth, don't swallow it. Get out of the hiding place and start looking for the doll. The doll is not necessarily in the bathroom. It could be anywhere. Whatever happens, don't spit out the salt water until you find the doll. When you find it, pour the rest of the salt water in the cup over it, then spit the salt water in your mouth over it as well. Say 3 times, I win, and cut off the crimson thread. This is supposed to free the spirit and end the ritual. And then it says, after this, make sure you dry the doll and burn or discard it later.
Oh my God.
So some rules they say for you to be aware of while you're playing this is don't stop the ritual halfway through. You must do it through to the end. Don't go outside the house. Don't play this game for more than 2 hours or the spirit will become too powerful and will not leave the doll. You must be alone in the house when you play. You can play with friends, but if there's someone else in the house who is not playing, they will be in mortal danger if the doll finds them instead.
You can play with friends, but don't play with friends.
Well, you can play with friends, but make sure your friends know they're playing. Don't be like, haha, come over to my house at 3 a.m. It's going to be fun. And then the doll with the knife finds them and kills them.
Yeah. That's a good way to act to. Was that second-degree murder?
Unintentional. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Some
just
weird kind of manslaughter.
I didn't do it. It was the doll. It was
Yeah,
the
that'll hold up
possessed
in court.
doll. Let's see what are okay. When you are returning to your hiding place, do not look behind you. You must turn off all lights and keep very quiet while hiding. Do not leave your hiding place without salt water in your mouth. The doll will still be searching for you. If you are religious, take a symbol of protection from your religion into the hiding place with you, such as a crucifix, rosary beads, a scapular. I don't know how to say this word.
What is? How do you spell it?
I know what it is. It's like we call it the hand of Fatima, Hamsa. Hamsa.
Okay.
It's my best guess. A Buddhist amulet or a talisman.
Right.
And then they end by saying, "This is a very dangerous ritual, and we advise you not to try it. We will not be responsible for what happens if you try it. If you try it. If you make a mistake, you could wind up stabbed to death or possessed by an evil spirit." In Japanese, oh yeah, and this was a fun one too. So in Japanese, the word for it in hide and seek is oni, which means demon. Which is actually true when you're playing hide and seek in Japanese. You say, so like the translation for the things you're saying from English to Japanese, you said, like the first one is Saiho wa, like I am the first one, Saiho wa zi desu. Then you would say your doll's name, that you found it, so doll mitsuketa, and then ima, your doll's name, wa oni. So oni is demon, so now the doll is the demon, is like basically what you're saying.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah, that's.
You have to have fun.
All right then.
So
I don't see the point of this. Like, even if it were, even if it worked,
mm-hmm.
like, why would anyone do this? Because best case scenario, you have a wet rice stuffed doll that you have to throw out or burn later. Worst case scenario, you're stabbed to death or possessed by a demon. Like, why? What is the point?
Well, I guess it's, that thrill-seeking
aspect
of it. Not necessarily saying I would do this.
Right.
But like, I mean, if you think about it, like if you're like 16, maybe not even 16, you might have enough sense by then. But if you're like 14 or younger and you read this, like you have to think, like here in the States, like we do Bloody Mary. Did you play Bloody Mary when you were younger?
No.
You didn't?
No.
I remember being like 10 and in the girls' bathroom with a bunch of my friends, and they're like, let's play Bloody Mary. And like it was in between like lunch and whatnot, and I think we like shut off all the lights, and like during the school day, we're like in elementary school.
Of course.
But maybe that's just me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it's really that thrill-seeking thrill-seeking, there we go. Thrill-seeking kind of thing that you want to, I guess, tempt fate and see if you can summon demons. Who doesn't want to summon a good demon?
Don't. Me. I don't understand this.
Oh, you party pooper.
It's not a party pooper. It's like looking at this logically. What is the best case scenario?
You summon a demon.
Yeah, I don't see how this is a best case.
So, all right, my final questions as we get to the end of this.
Sure.
On a scale of 1 to okay, how believable do you think this is?
I don't. I don't know. There's just this. I guess it's because it's Japanese folklore, maybe, that there's this sort of mystique around it that's like, ooh, it's there's also a kind of fakeness to it, I find. And I don't know if that's because it's Japanese or if it's because it's doll based. Like, like I said, it sounds like either like it inspired Child's Play or Child's Play was inspired by it sort of thing. So I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
Okay.
this sort of cyclical thing about it. It's like, oh, this is too conveniently close to something
All right, fair
else.
enough. Yeah,
You
I can
know?
see that. Yeah, and like I said before, we're not actually sure, if this is a legitimate like old school Japanese ritual thing or if it's just kind of something that some kids decided to make up one day.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Cool. And then my other one, which I think I already know the answer. On a scale from 1 to, oh hell no. How likely do you think you are to play this game?
Oh, hell no. Again, I don't believe it, but I'm not fool enough to try it. Because,
Fair enough.
like I said, there is no reason to do something like this. Even if you like, if you know it for 100% that it's not going to work, then why bother? Why waste
Yeah.
the time? Why get up at 3 a.m.? uh, yeah.
Well, you never know.
I do.
You never know.
No, I don't.
You could
No.
suddenly be struck by the urge to get up at
Yeah.
3 a.m. and fill a
It's
doll up with
different.
rice.
It's different though from something like playing with a Ouija board.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I'm Catholic, so like watching The Exorcist or something where you have a Ouija board that transfers a demon into a child, and this based on an actual exorcism. That's like I don't know if I want to mess with that ever.
Yeah, no,
That's
fair
like
enough.
whenever I go into a Barnes and Noble or something, and there is they have their board game section, and one of them is a talking spirit board. I just put other boxes in front of it so no one is tempted to buy it. I know it's weird, but
You're doing the good work there,
I
man.
am. I truly am. It's weirdly superstitious of me because I don't really do anything else like that.
But you're protecting the youth from
Indeed,
Ouija
indeed.
boards. Next, you're just gonna have to start hiding all the stuffed animals and the rice so they can't play one man hide and seek.
I did think that was funny though that in Japanese, did you say it was in Japanese or just middle or just Eastern culture in general that uncooked rice attracts spirits?
Actually, I think it's also in Hispanic cultures as well, because I was talking to my dad, I think, when I first
Uh-huh.
discovered like one man hide and seek, and I was like telling him about it. And he was saying something similar to that depending on the religion and whatnot. So like in a lot of the Caribbean countries, there's voodoo and Santeria
Yeah,
and all those kind of offsets. In there as well, rice can be used to sort of, I think he said it was you kind of give rice to like feed the spirits.
that's interesting because I've never heard that before, and it
Mm-hmm.
strikes me as odd for one thing because rice is such a common food in the East, especially, but
Yeah.
also in Spain, I guess, in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a common food that's like, oh, so there's just spirits everywhere. There are demons who are just looking for a bowl of uncooked rice
Give me
to
that
settle
rice,
down.
man. Give me that rice.
Like you go into a pantry, you need to have an exorcist with you or something. Like, wait, what?
I mean, I never thought of it that way, but it's actually like really funny to
Yeah,
put
for
it like
something
that.
so common to have such attract
Yeah, to
apparently.
attract spirits, but
Yeah.
that is interesting. I guess I have to be worried now. I always have rice with dinner. We have so much rice in the house.
Also, like my life was so much less complicated before I knew that rice attracted evil spirits. So now I have to
I have to
I
be
like,
worried.
should I buy 2 bags or 3? I should probably just. I should. I don't think I'll buy any today. I'll
Just
find something else.
make sure you wrap it up with the red thread to bind the evil spirits into it, okay?
I'll perform a ritual over my dinner, and then I will eat demons.
Cut open that red thread, release the demons. I'm ready for supper. Oh
Exactly.
goodness.
Well, thank you for educating me today. See, this was fun.
Well, thank you for being my very first guinea pig
Of course.
in my adventure to creep all my friends out. I hope that you will join me again sometime in the near future so that we can
I would love to.
produce another one of these crazy things.
Definitely.
All right, so I guess then with that, I will say my farewells. I hope that you, Garrett, and whoever may be listening here, be they person or spirits, eating rice or not, I hope that they were also equally creeped out. And with that, I shall call it the end.
Bye.
Bye.